Imagine unprofessional professionals in professional sports. Let me say it again. Imagine unprofessional professionals in professional sports. That's what we got. Mike Malone, basically 1.5 years after winning an NBA title, was fired yesterday because he is rough around the edges, and players simply couldn't handle his hard coaching. Coach Malone, the all-time winningest coach in Nugget history, I think he's the third longest tenured coach in the NBA right now, currently, is gone. As we wake up this morning, he is gone. We are witnessing the softest era of professional athletes in the history of professional sports. Fact. The GM was also fired, which was smoke and mirrors to basically tell the public it was a house cleaning operation, when in reality, they fired the GM to show Mike Malone, it wasn't just you, Mike. We had to make decisions. In reality, we know it was Mike Malone ruffling feathers in the locker room, calling players out for not watching film, and telling players that they're basically a bunch of overpaid prima donnas. In reality, it's a big joke. Another player empowerment endorsement by upper management over the coach. We are standing for nothing and falling for everything, yet expect a better and more competitive product on our courts, on our fields, and on our diamonds across professional sports. We have fallen off hard when it comes to building men, creating tough skin, and setting up people for lifelong success rather than just short-term fame. We want an analytical Excel spreadsheet creator roaming our sidelines over an alpha male hard ass. And we wonder why men are painting their nails, playing women in sports, and creating softer men than we have ever seen before in professional sports. Now, the Nuggets will blow up this roster. Joker will be a Laker. Jamal Murray will be gone, along with Porter Jr. and everyone else. This will be an entire new roster next year. But what do I know? What is your take on this?
I was shocked. Like, when I looked at my phone and saw this news yesterday, I thought it was one of those fake accounts. You know what I'm saying? I thought somebody was trolling me. And I looked and kept seeing it on every single major platform. I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe this is real. They're, 2 games away from the playoffs, and you fire your head coach? It makes no sense, man. And obviously there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. Not only they fired their head coach, they fired their GM. Everything I've read is that the GM and Coach Malone have never been cool. They disagreed on a lot of on-court decisions and moves behind the scenes. And it seems like there were some disagreements on Westbrook's role. We know Westbrook has kind of played poorly as of late, last few games lately, especially late in the games. And there's been some back and forth on his minutes being or decreased, and allegedly Mike Malone wanted to keep him in. The GM wanted some younger guy going in, etc. And the owner, I think, who is Crocky, right? Ain't Crocky the owner of the Nuggets? He also owns the Rams and all these championship teams.
Colorado Avalanche.
Yep. He put out a statement, but he kind of kept it PC, but saying that although the timing isn't great, they believe that this is the best decision for the Nuggets to grow and get to that next step. I think that's a lie. That's cap. There's no way in hell you fire your head coach. Forget the GM right now. You fire your head coach 2 games or whatever before the playoffs start, while y'all are a 4th seed. I think they're a game and a half away from 3rd seed. They probably won't get it. I think the Lakers will probably keep it secured, but they could potentially become the 3rd seed. And you fire your head coach, and you're telling the people of Denver, people of Colorado, that this is going to make you guys more of a contender in the playoffs? No, it don't. It's going to cause more distractions. There's no true leader in that locker room now. Say what you want about Mike Malone. Obviously, me and JB, we're Lakers fans, and so sometimes Coach Malone will talk trash and we get annoyed or whatever. But on a serious note, he's a hell of a coach. Old school mentality. You know what I'm saying? Not scared to go at any of the guys. He's a champion. He brought the Nuggets was it the first title ever for the Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken?
We had
or first one in a while, put it like that.
Yeah.
First one in a long time, just a couple years ago. And you're a top seed right now. You're having a bad stretch, and then you just fire your coach. It makes no sense. It's the second time that this has happened this year. Just a few weeks ago, we saw the Grizzlies fire their head coach after again playoff contention, like competing well. So I don't know what's going on, man. Like it's hard to be a coach right now. You know, it seems like if any disagreement, you know, behind the scenes,
I thought it was easy, homie. I thought y'all were cool for the player empowerment, homie.
Not to this level.
Well, I mean, because Micro, I've been telling y'all, this is what's going to happen, homie. This is the problem. This is the product. Like, what do you mean? When you allow, this is what you're going to have. The old school coach is dead and buried, homie. You will have Mike McDaniels on every sideline wearing skinny jeans. And I'm not even trying to kid around. That is what you're going to have. It's the player that gets paid absorbent amount of money who now picks and chooses which soft pussy he wants to coach him or her. Like, let's just be real. The old school guy like Mike Malone, I mean, come on, Smitty. Like, look at it, dog. Bud got fired after winning a title in Milwaukee a year later.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse got fired 2 years after Toronto. Kawhi Leonard hits the dagger shot and wins it. Like, what are we doing? If you notice the trend, it's all old school cats. So, like, this is the bottom line. You want young bullshit coaches who say, yes, yes, yes. Don't worry, Card. It's okay. You don't have to watch film. There's stories out there, allegedly. We'll go with that. But we've talked to certain people that say it's true. In Miami, in the NFL, guess what that common denominator is? Oh, he don't demand hard work. He doesn't demand you show up on time. He doesn't demand you practice hard. And guess what Miami Dolphins are known as? Soft. Like, let's just be real. Mike Malone demands it. And we got a clip here, Smitty, and I want to ask you, is this the clip that ended up firing him?
Let's see it.
Guys got to look themselves in the mirror and start coming to each respective game with the proper mindset and have some pride. I didn't think we played with any pride tonight.
How do you feel like they took that?
I really care. It's not my job to evaluate how they take things. My job is to be honest, and sometimes brutally honest. And tonight, it was a brutally honest message. And the guys that are full of shit won't hear it. You know, they'll say, Coach is tripping.
Love it.
And the guys that maybe do really care will, because they're not going to go back and watch their minutes, because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. So we'll have to show them the film. And I said, if somebody disagrees with me, please speak up. And nobody said a word. So,
Smitty, this is the thing I have. The problem I have is, go ahead. You were saying something?
No, well, to me, that tone, that tells me that he, the GM, and the owner was already having some bickering and disagreements going on behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah, his tone right there, he wanted out. Too,
yeah, like agreed.
By the way.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I don't know if that tone. I don't know. I don't even know if that tone is I want out of Denver. That tone is I want out of coaching.
Ooh, you think so?
Fucking right, he does. I mean, that's a demoralized cat who 2 years ago won it all, and nobody can see anything behind the scenes. See, a lot of us just want the sausage. We don't want to know how it's made. We just want to taste it, and it's unbelievable. That's what a lot of cats out here, the common fan, and the guys I call nobodies. A lot of guys in the chat and shit. I always say that, like, you just want to taste it. Like, you have no idea. You never played. You never coached. You have no idea. Your fucking DFS DraftKings pick didn't hit for you, so you hate the guy today. Tomorrow you love him. One day you love Westbrook because he got you 50 fantasy points. The next day you fucking hate him because he fucking threw it away. Like, this is the you have no clue how it really works, and you don't see anything that's going on in the locker room. You don't see any of that, what he just said. He's trying to force a round peg into a square hole with his team, and they're combative in there, and there's a big old issue in the locker room. And I remember they won it all, homie, and this man right here got a tattoo of a nugget on his arm, made a joke of it, trying to keep up with the young cats fucking around. And kind of like Gino did this year with UConn women. And he goes over to Serbia or wherever Joker's from, don't he? And don't he ride horses and do all the shit with Joker and his brothers?
Think so.
Yeah, he did. I know. It's fact. I guarantee, because he went over there, and I remember it was a big thing, and I watched the whole thing on it. So the rumors I'm hearing is that Joker and him are fine. Joker likes him a lot. And Joker, think about it. his upbringing and his brothers and all the shit you see. He's fine with the hard coaching.
Yeah. That's normal over there. That's like whatever.
It used to be normal over here. That's what's crazy. It used to be normal over here. Anyway, he's fine with it. But guess what? There's too many fucking chefs in the kitchen, homie, in today's sporting world. And I just imagine professionals being unprofessional, man, in professional sports. I don't know how else to say it. So, like, I was talking to Matt Barnes and other guys, and they were like, dog, we used to get it in on our own. So when we got the coach to come in and show the game film, he was just showing cut-ups of the coaching points of what, as a team, we should have done. But we already watched our minutes.
Right.
Like, we already knew I fucked up. So when he cussed us out, yeah, coach, I know. I already saw it. And then there was grading going on. Hey, dog, I know you watched your own film. What the fuck did you do in the second quarter when why didn't you get on the ground for the loose ball? Why didn't you get the 50-50 balls? Why did we lose all the 50-50 ball opportunities this game? Why did we lose fucking 8 or 10 of them? You couldn't get your fucking prima donna ass on the court, on the floor and save the rock, like old school video of Shaq doing it, diving into the thing and throwing the ball out, all these things. Like, I'm telling you, homie, it's sad to see, dog. There's no recovering from it. This is what it is. And what happens is, Smitty, no offense, I love the young kid at Florida, 39 years old, one of the youngest coaches to beat the old Kelvin Sampson and all that. But when that happens, and there's no shot at by me. What I mean, but I'm just gonna make a point. When it happens, it solidifies this firing, though.
I know what you mean. It's like, see, let's go with the young guy because the young guys are winning, you know.
See, when Curry and Steph Kerr and Steve Kerr and Curry and them took the world by fire, because we know Kerr is a soft puss. But anyway, when he came out and was hitting all these threes and they were on fire and they played this finesse style. Let's be honest. I'm gonna try to be politically correct as I can with Steve Kerr. They played this perimeter, softer finesse style that won championships, and everybody was like, let's go with this style of, let's go get 3-point shooters, let's play this finesse style, let's go. And Steve Kerr was young. I'm just saying he was younger, right, when they started. Let's go get this younger coach. And they all and even though Mark Jackson built that roster, they go get Steve Kerr to get him over the hump and win it. Then they won the titles, all the success and all that shit. Well, you see a trend go on after that. There was coaching hires just like that. Oh, let's go find a Popovich guy from his tree, or let's go get a Billy Donovan in OKC, and now he's in Chicago struggling, if you know, right? Because he's now become the hard old guy. Like, I'm just telling you, this is the way to get around coaching the young men and demanding of them and holding them accountable by getting young coaches to do softer shit. Let's appease to the masses, which are the players who make so much money that we're not going to be able to cuss them out anymore. We're not going to be able to hold them to the fire. We can't demand greatness from them no more because they make so much money. They feel they're above going to watch film. They feel they're above being professional. They feel they're above being hungry, Smitty, because they know that on the 1st and the 15th, their fucking bank accounts are going to be fattened. And the thing is, dog, it's a sad, sad world we're in because the competitive balance and competitive edge by professionals are gone. And now we're seeing, I could get into the league now. As a high school kid, Smitty, there's so much to talk about with this, but you can't tell me high school kids don't have it easier as far as their path. When they're sitting there in high school thinking, I could get paid, I can play in college longer, I can play in college at multiple schools and get multiple bags, stay longer, make professional money. I saw something the other day. I'm rambling on it. You can have it, but I saw something about, who was it?
The Florida point guard got paid $2 million this year. You talking about him?
Nah, there's two brothers. One's in the league and one's in college, and the brother that's in college makes more money than the one in the league.
Oh, I saw that too. I can't remember his name. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Come on, homie. So let's play the Paul Pierce take because I know we have a similar take on this. I wanted to show this what it is. That's what I've been saying for years, what it has become and what we're going to allow if we keep letting this happen. And I've been saying it for 4 and 5 years, homie, and now we're seeing it full firsthand. Like, this is a 4th seed, Smitty. It's not like they're not in the playoffs or not. I mean, even if they were, like, used to, Smitty, this is how it used to be. If you won a Super Bowl or an NBA title, you automatically got 5 years extra.
Right. Like, off the rip, like, I never, he's the last coach I would have thought would be fired right now. Like, that don't make no sense. Homie. Especially for the Nuggets. Y'all don't win championships. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it funky. That's not what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? It's not a regular thing. This is a rare occurrence. He brought that to you.
And I got a video from yesterday that I did that a lot of people are tripping on me because I correlated it with. Let's take a listen.
What up, man? The real Coach JB here. Listen, man, the Denver Nuggets fired Mike Malone. Just won the title 2 years ago. So the Celtics last year and the fucking Nuggets the year before. It sounds like a bunch of pussies up in the front office there in Denver. Mile High Stadium must be fucking high because guess what? You can't handle a combative alpha male leader of men. And you cancel culture vultures out here should be fucking ashamed of yourself for firing a dude who's been there 10 years, the all-time wins leader, and just won a title. And let me break this down real quick. This is why you soft pussies out here stop comparing the NIL and transfer portal era kids to grown men who have been doing it for 40 fucking years and bettering it for their family. When you kids get to transfer 20 times and say, well, coaches could transfer, coach. They can take new jobs. They've earned the right. 40 fucking years. You guys don't even know how to change the oil in your fucking cars yet, and you want to transfer? Stop comparing it. It ain't the same.
The reason I said that, Smitty, is because I've been saying this with you for 2 years now, and you know what I mean, but I don't know if people understand. It's starting to transition uphill, which I've been telling everybody. When you allow it in college now, the college player that was allowed to do it and transfer 4 times and get NIL money, they go on to the NBA and the NFL and do what? Demand trades. Player empowerment is at all-time high. Then we start comparing, well, the coach can leave and take a new job. He has to pay money back. He's on a contract. There's a huge difference. And he gets fired like this man just did 2 years after winning a title. I don't know players that get fired, homie. I know they get cut. We used to cut you. Nowadays, that's not even happening anymore. Now you're allowed to leave. Here's the cool part if I was coaching college football or college basketball or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I don't think a lot of people realize this. But go ahead and enter the portal, Smitty, and go ahead and let me lose my 5-star in the portal. And if you're too soft to handle it, go ahead. You know what's crazy about this landscape that I would flip? And I don't know probably why I don't coach no more, because obviously I would come up with innovative ways to dominate the recruiting trail like I always have seemed to do. And in less than 48 hours, I'll have a 5-star replacement now. Where before, if we lost a kid, in June, July, whatever, I'm fucked, right? I'm trying to beg that kid or work a way to keep the kid. I can go get the kid right now, right back. Another kid, 5-star kid now, with the way the rules are.
Yeah.
Like, I can replace that kid like this, homie. Like I don't think people realize, and I think Fran Brown came out at Syracuse and said, like, there's 2 ways this is going now. You can enter the portal, young man. I can also send you to the portal.
Right. It goes either way.
And I'm glad he said that because, like, that's the craziness about this. And eventually this oil and water mixture is going to there's going to be a fire in the middle of this whole thing when the oil and the flame and the oil and the gas and all this shit mixes up, man, because oil and water don't mix. And we're going to have a problem when the coaches now start to get tired of watching guys like this get fired. And we're going to be like, all the other coaches are going to be like, hold up, man. What are we really doing? And here's the cool part. It's like me with the women takes and all that, right? That half we joke, half I'm serious about when I'm saying I actually think I'm helping the women when I say I don't want them doing this. It's the same as this. Like, I don't know if the grown men in the room understand that this guy like Mike Malone or other coaches like Hurley and UConn that everyone hates on. You're fine when he won to, and then he's yelling at referees now and they lost. Now he won and fired. Like, this is the world we live in. Like, I don't think you realize we are actually doing this to help young men succeed. You want us fired to allow them to fail. That's the difference. And that's what you guys don't understand out there, because a lot of you are just worried about your bets, your picks, and how, what not to say in a PC world that's on social media that we look at and say, oh, the cancel culture vultures are going to get me. I gotta be tight-lipped here when I speak. And the tight-lipped coach for the last 10 years has been the ones getting fired now. And now I think people are starting to see, and there's more and more, not JBs, but there's more and more Pat McAfee style guys coming out. Like, Frank Martin at UMass, my good friend, like Hurley, like these other guys are like, you know what, fuck it, man. I'm going to stand on my business and start saying what I want to say because I'm tired of this. I'm not going to walk on eggshells anymore. And I think we may be in that era. Maybe even that era is starting to come back. Now, there'll be some sacrificial lambs, Smitty, like Mike Malone, like these guys that are going to say, you know what, this ain't for me anymore. My time's passed, I guess. And then eventually, though, they'll come back to some of these older guys when they figure out that and I'm not going to use that term because I hated using it as football coach, but what am I going to say? When there's too many Indians and not enough chiefs, or too many chefs in the cooks in the kitchen, not enough chefs. We got too many cooks in the kitchen, man.
No, I feel you. My last thing before we kind of transition, you made a comment earlier saying that, the Joker and Coach Malone, at least reportedly, they have a good relationship. If that's the case, though, if that's true, you still think that the other players on that team have enough power and influence to get a head coach fired when the superstar player actually is connected with him and he likes him? Because that's like Phil Jackson getting fired, but Kobe wanted him to stay, but because D Fish and I don't know Robert Orr, I'm just naming others, they didn't want him around, so he gets fired, even though Kobe wanted him. Like, that's hard to believe, though, for me.
Here's how I look at it now, and everything that you just said, I knew you were going to ask that because, if Joker said I want him, and they still fired him, here's why I say they fired him: because we're in this generation that I just mentioned, in this soft culture where they don't want to demand greatness from their players anymore because they're overpaid at prima donnas and they're going to get it their way. Here's why: the big picture is, they fired him now so they don't have to deal with the playoffs come and go, and then they go, hey, man, we had a run. I got to keep Mike Malone. We made it to the finals again 2 years after we won it all. So if you cut him now, Smitty, you get rid of him right now, you don't have that possibility of this guy winning the locker room back. Right. Or winning the fan base back, or winning the casual back out here who's hating right now because they're the 4 seed. Remember, if the playoffs start today, they host the first round in Mile High. That's what you want at the end of the day. Yeah. That's what you want to do. Like they don't want him in that, having the possibility of being the great coach he is, to get those guys to actually buy in on a playoff run where they can beat anybody because they have the best player in the world in Joker. So if they do have that and Murray gets a little healthy and comes back and they make a run, anybody in the NBA playoffs can make a run, in my opinion, and win this thing. They're as good as anybody when it comes down to that. They could beat OKC. They could beat the Lakers. They could be fun. So, and I think any of these teams can beat anybody. But, my point is, if they go on a run and win, he will be impossible to fire.
Right.
And they don't want to they don't want to deal with a whole nother year next year of a bunch of oil and water in the locker room, and then they don't see how the sausage is being made. And then that's why he fired the GM, right? Because the GM and Mike Malone didn't even talk, apparently. And the GM reports are coming out that the GM wanted less Westbrook and more what's his name, Peyton or whatever.
Young guy, yep.
So and Mike Malone's like, nah, I want the energy, I want the fucking experience.
The hustle, right.
Yeah, and the hustle from an old cat. I don't want this young ass cat that don't want to give me no effort. I don't want to coach effort. I don't need to coach effort. So like I'm telling you, homie, it's a bad place. Like, we're setting a bad precedent. Watson's the name. We're setting a bad precedent when it comes to this, because now this is going to be the trend, so to speak.